I don't want to talk
I'm
about
s
the senior dog anymore. You already got that.
I mean, we can touch on it. I would love to touch on it again just to get, like, your viewpoint of it, but welcome back, pet parent. I am so fortunate to have a return guest in Miss Angela Ardolino. She is a formulator, a manufacturer, an educator, an advocate for your pets, and I want to welcome Angela back onto the podcast, onto the Pet Parenting Reset. Thank you for being here with us again.
Thanks for having me again. I feel like there's
Yeah.
always something to talk about.
Oh my gosh, every time I get to see you, which isn't often enough, but it's just like I all day, all night, I feel like we could just keep talking. Um, but so, okay, you formulate CBD dog health, Myco Dog, you have some really amazing products, and I do wanna get to those, but we had Carter on not too terribly long ago to talk about the senior dog study. I want to touch on that with you a little bit as well. But more importantly, I think something that we were both agreeing before we jumped on is so important that we just continue this conversation is the reason why we're all here is to try to teach critical thinking skills, to teach pet parents to be discerning, to teach pet parents that to stop listening to me, stop listening to you, stop listening to whoever, and actually read the label and look at that animal in front of you and say, is this going to actually benefit the animal that I have sitting in front of me? Welcome to the Pet Parenting Reset podcast. If you're new here, my name is Jess, and this is a space where we talk about all things health span and quality of life for your pets and you too. I'm so excited that you're here. Let's dive in. Read the label and look at that animal in front of you and say, is this going to actually benefit the animal that I have sitting in front of me? That's a
Well,
lot.
it is, but it's funny because what I'm sure this is probably one of the number one comments you get on a social media post is, "You're not a veterinarian, I'm not gonna listen to you," or, "What do you know? You're not a veterinarian." And then I think it's funny because I like to flip that. I teach veterinarians and doctors about a master system called the endocannabinoid system. So that's who I am. I'm a clinician and I'm an expert in a small category on a master system that I know a lot about, and about 12 mushrooms and 12 adaptogens and everything about the cannabis plant. So no veterinarian knows what I know. So that's one thing. But the other thing is that the veterinarian has no idea how to make a supplement or a food. So why would you listen to a veterinarian if they're giving you nutrition advice or talking about which kibble is best or which science diet is best? They weren't taught anything. Or when it says veterinary formulated, that means nothing unless they went to school. They went to herbalism school. They learned somewhere how to make medicine out of plants and mushrooms and food. If not, that is a marketing term.
Yeah.
Right. I can't, this is like veterinarians sometimes get out of school and immediately start working for a brand, or they retire and then they start working for a brand. And they've never practiced a day of cannabis, mushroom, or herbal medicine. They're just a spokesperson. They're representing so that when they do go on social media, people can't say, well, you're not a veterinarian. What do you know? I don't think people understand what veterinarians learn.
Oh,
And
no.
or I just had a veterinarian that blew my mind because I asked her, I go, I want to know, you're in school. She's a holistic, so she's freaking fabulous. And remember, a holistic veterinarian is a veterinarian that went to the same school that the conventional vet went to. You don't agree? They went to the same school that the conventional veterinarian went to, but then got out and continued to educate themselves. So diet and nutrition, acupuncture, herbalism, all of these things. And those are the types of veterinarians that I love and who I know we both have on our podcast all the time. But I asked her just what do they tell you about allergies? What did they teach you? And all they taught her or teach our doctors or veterinarians is that it is the immune system overreacting, that it's doing something wrong and that it needs to be stopped and shut down.
That's
And I'm like, "Oh my
amazing.
god, that's how they think about medicine too, right?"
Yes.
Even whether it's pharmaceuticals or whether it is, herbalism or making medicine out of mushrooms, they literally take what exists in nature and go into a lab and try to recreate it instead of, "No, it's in its perfect form right here." And they have to do research on it because they have to prove that it's gonna have some sort of action and not kill whoever they're giving it to. So it's pretty amazing, but I think that the thing that upsets me the most is that I feel like most of your listeners probably know what we're talking about or a little bit about what we're talking about. What I'm like what just pisses me off is a veterinarian, even those that are calling themselves integrative or holistic veterinarians who are creating products, white labeling products, and they have terrible non-natural, non-holistic ingredients in them, like synthetic vitamins and minerals. And it's nuts that these are being put on those people who are taking the time to make their own dog's food and throwing these things on top and thinking that it's helping because what are they doing? They're literally trying to do the same thing AFCO was doing, right? You want to
Yeah.
be called, what is it, balanced and complete and balanced or whatever? You need to throw on this packet of synthetic vitamins and minerals.
Yeah.
We left that. What's happening? It's like we're going full circle of now we're gonna do the same bad thing. We're gonna ruin fresh food by throwing these chemicals on top, and people keep thinking it's no big deal. Synthetic vitamins and minerals are a big deal, and they really cause harm, and you're throwing them on every single day, and you have no idea what you're already giving your dog in that food that you made where they really do get the vitamins and minerals and those types of things. So
Well,
what do you think about that trend? That, okay, well, I'm making food at home, so I'm gonna do better, but they're going to the grocery store and buying factory farmed meat, and they're bringing it home, and they're following a recipe, and now they're throwing on synthetic vitamins and minerals, which isn't gonna be any better.
yeah. Well, and that really is the problem with home cook, right? It is as much as we say it's a way for you to control what's going in your dog's mouth, it is. It
But you
can
better
be.
know.
It can be, but not if you don't actually know what you're putting in your dog's mouth. And it isn't any better. Just like, people you're right with the comments, especially on TikTok, are "You're not a vet. I'm not listening to you." Great. You scroll on by.
Right,
You don't need to take your time to post that, but that's
right,
okay. Just scroll on by.
right.
Um, but the other thing is I am constantly being asked, "What about Farmer's Dog? What about Ollie? What about Nom Nom?" Like, because these are the brands that people know, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, they're gonna be better than kibble, but
So
they're
tell
still
me, are
not
those
great.
right, so the 3 of those, they all use synthetic vitamins and minerals?
Yeah, yes, they
See,
all
I don't get
do.
that's
So
not my realm, right? So I depend
yeah,
on you guys to tell me which
yeah.
whatever. I mean, I know who I got
So
so many friends now that I can go, "What about this one?" So I don't even have to know anymore, and I don't own my store anymore, so I don't have to keep track. But
right,
that's what's like so that's what happens is they learn, "Oh, wait, those aren't the best. Why?" And we tell
right,
them, "Because of synthetic vitamins and minerals."
right.
So then we
So
have these wonderful holistics that make these beautiful diets so that you can
mhm,
make your dog whatever, and then they're recommending throw the same shit.
yeah, and it is. It's basically saying, "Okay, you wanna cook for your dog, that's great. I Do you want it complete?" I mean, first of all, I have a problem with complete imbalance.
So do
have
I.
big I have big problems with complete imbalance.
So do I.
At the same time, there are people that's in their brain that it has to be this way, and, trying to meet people where they are is difficult sometimes because of that. And it is.
So when you say
It's
you're meeting people where they
frustrating.
are, what does that mean? Like where what
Yeah.
they can afford, what the time they're willing to put into to it?
I think it's both because everybody at any stage, no matter what you're doing, whether you're feeding your dog, whether you're looking to buy supplements for yourself, whether you're like, it doesn't matter what we're talking about, you either have to put time into it or you have to put money into it. You're
Right,
building a website, you either have to put the time into it to build it yourself or you have to put the money into it to pay somebody to do it, right?
right.
Like that's it just is with everything in life. And so it's the same. That is the
And with
starting
that
point.
time, I love that you say it that way. With that time, it includes you have to educate yourself because you don't know
Yes.
better. And
Exactly.
that doesn't mean you just Google something
Right.
because or even taking it into AI and asking it because it's
Yeah.
just gonna pull off everything that's on the internet, and whoever has spent the most money for you to see their message is the message that
Mhm.
you're going to get.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot more time invested in the front part, in
There
the
is.
beginning. But
There
then
is.
I want people to know because I feel like we lose people sometimes. We're like, this is too complicated and I don't have time. And I don't even know how to identify a synthetic vitamin and mineral versus a real one. And they don't make it easy. I do use Google and chat for that because
Mhm.
sometimes I can't tell because
Yeah.
they have so many versions and so many different names, and it literally will say calcium and then something after it or whatever, and you're like, "Wait, I thought folic acid was good. I thought citric acid was safe." And it's like, "No. These are all, you know, chemicals that are man-made to supposedly replicate what nature provides us, but people don't understand that that is what's keeping your pet from getting back to health or getting back to homeostasis because every single one of them has an action, causes the body to react to it, have an immune response because you're giving it a concoction of chemicals. So
Yeah.
every time you throw those powders on top of your dog's food, the immune system responds. It has to react to it. So that's why everybody's got a damn allergy and putting more powders and more supplements that you don't look at. And there it's so funny because I feel like we have to like have a grading system of supplements or even food. They're the same thing. Food and supplements are, often the same things happen. Not regulated or loosely regulated, or I mean, I guess supplements are bad because anybody can put anything in a bottle and call it whatever, and there's no repercussions for it at all. There's no way for you to
Nice.
know unless you get
Nice.
COA. Yeah. Um, and yeah, thank you for, it's funny how I'm sure you're getting the emails. I get ads on Instagram saying you want your own pet supplement, and they literally are showing these giant cargo ships coming from China and unloading these giant things, and then this giant, beautiful factory that's, with all the people in the lab coats making these, mass producing these chemical isolates. And these isolates are you know what they are. They are the glucosamine and the chondroitin, all the synthetic vitamins and minerals, the additives and the fillers, all the things that you see that you've probably heard or seen and went, "Well, they must be okay or they wouldn't be in this supplement." That's not true. Nobody's making sure of it. And it's just, they call it something else. They call the, sand silicone dioxide, and it sounds like not so bad and fancy, and they call sawdust microcrystalline cellulose, and they think that, it sounds cellulose, so that doesn't sound so bad. And so I just don't think people understand all of those things cause your body to react, cause your liver to work overtime, disrupt the gut. And those are just the known things that we know. A lot of other bad things happen, especially with minerals and storing them. And, I'll never forget meeting someone whose dog, who fed raw, died of copper storage disease. That was one of the first times where I was trying to help somebody, and I was like, how you
Yeah.
must have been throwing one of those things on. That's the only way. How did you get too much copper?
Yeah. Yeah, because if it's naturally occurring, the body knows what to do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It is and that's a tough one that I have, well, I've talked to Billy about it on the podcast, but it the thing that's so difficult right now that has been happening over the past, I'm gonna say maybe 2-ish, 3-ish years in what I like to call our little healthy pet space. Eh, there's a huge divide that I think has been happening for a number of reasons. One is that the term holistic is thrown around, and I really think that we need to kinda take it back a little bit and help people to understand what that truly means. One of the things I've been talking a lot about is the paradigm shift that you have to have, not not to start looking into holistic therapies and modalities and supplements, but during that process of learning about them, we should be having this paradigm shift away from the model that we have been taught, where we blindly trust authority, where there's a pill for every ill, all of those things that we have been taught for, decades at this point, and relearn, unlearn that, and relearn what we should know as human beings connected to the planet, that everything matters. The body, the mind, the spirit, like, all of it matters, and all of that is taken into account when we use the word holistic. But that's not happening everywhere and with everybody, and so it's muddying the water a lot. And for the first time in the I mean, I haven't been at this anywhere near as long as you have. We're around a little over a decade that I've been kind of playing around in this little
But haven't
subset
isn't it
of
interesting to watch how much things have changed where
we have.
now everybody not everybody, but, a lot of people know about fresh food and raw food and
Mhm.
cooking and doing your own food, and now I feel like that's happening with supplements now that people are
Yeah.
finally figuring out, "Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to?" I was so excited. Did you know that, Cosequin, who is the number 1 joint supplement on the market that is all shitty, cheap, synthetic isolates put together, there's a class action lawsuit. So I'm really excited
Oh,
because the lawsuit and this is what's exciting is that there's normally not lawsuits because if you win, first of all, I would have to fund a lawsuit if I want to sue somebody who killed my dog with their food or supplement or medicine. And I would have to fund it. And then if I won, they'd go, "How much were your vet bills?"
right.
And that's not the point. So now these attorneys are getting creative where they're like, let's see what law you actually broke. So, like Librella, which, has now 2 lawsuits going on, 17,000 more adverse events. FDA has sent out letters warning veterinarians about the drug, and yet it's being prescribed every single day. Old me, most people think that if that was really happening, that FDA would make them rip that. That's not the FDA's job. It's the manufacturers. It's Pfizer, who owns Zoetis. It's their responsibility as a good company and manufacturer to take this off the market, and they have not done that. As a matter of fact, they're losing profit share. So now they've put out a whole ad campaign. They've released an injectable across in the UK or somewhere, I don't know where, and because they don't want to lose money. People don't understand the same actions of Librella you can get from a full spectrum hemp extract and mushrooms and diet. But they can't patent that and make billions of dollars. And the reason that they spend millions on it is that they're literally recreating something that exists in nature that already does the job. So, of
Mhm.
course, they spend millions because they're trying to replicate nature.
Yeah,
And of course there's a side effect because you can't do that. And it's
I
not
know.
about one compound, it's about a bunch. So the Cosequin lawsuit is they caught them because it says it's all natural on it, which is
Mhm.
same as holistic, all natural. Is glucosamine natural? Comes from a natural place. Is it
Right.
still natural if you've isolated or recreated it in a lab? No.
No.
So, but that's not even how they got them. They got them because they use citric acid as a preservative. And everyone thinks citric acid is safe because it's a preservative that comes from citrus, right? Wrong. The majority, it's like 90% of all citric acid has all come from the same place since like 1940, I want to say, and it all comes from black mold. And there is a side effect to it. So, yes, holistic, natural are marketing terms now. We even have veterinarians that are integrative or holistic, but they don't know how to make products or supplements. So someone comes along and advertises to them, hey, you want your own vitamin and mineral topper? You want your own joint supplement? You want your own? And they might even go, oh my God, I like those ingredients. They sound pretty good. But because themselves don't know how to identify a synthetic vitamin or mineral versus a real one from real
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's been the change has been interesting to see, and it's kind of a roller coaster, up and down, but we recently had somebody who was big in the space because they know how to market, and they've completely changed everything they're saying and everything they're selling, and as much as I know I just want to completely ignore it, um it's the first time I had actually seen somebody do that. Go from I see so many people go from traditional to holistic, but to go from holistic back to
are you
traditional.
talking about the influencers?
Yes.
Oh, that's all about the money. I mean, everything is
Oh, I
always about
know.
the money. I
I
mean, I'm
know, but it
surprised.
is
We went
yes.
I re here's all the things that have changed, in the short 10 years. Um, HPP is bad to now for some reason it's okay. That one really pisses me off. Um, probiotics.
Oh my gosh.
Prebiotics, probiotic well, mostly just probiotics. Pre and post were still good, they're great, but prebiotics and the overuse and, like, literally that was, like, 2017 to 2019 where literally a person who makes probiotics educated everybody like, "Oh, wait, if you're throwing this on a real food diet and you know what you're doing, I make that I've disrupted. This is for
Yeah,
people with kibble do fed dogs," type of thing. So that was another one where it was just so overdone. And it was funny because you think when you enter the natural or holistic realm, okay, I'm in a safe place now.
right.
And that ain't the case. You
Yeah,
only person who can protect your pet, the only person who can advocate for your pet is you. Don't put it in the hands of anybody, even me. If I'm telling you this is going to help your dog, you need to look up. You know your dog better. You need to look up the ingredients. Do I have a COA? Check my COA, check my ingredients, read the reviews, look at the person behind the product or the food. Uh, I wonder if you get the same press release as I do. I got one the other day because I'm so angry now because so many people are coming into this space because they come into the space for several reasons. There's a shift, and a lot of
yeah,
people are moving away from the standard of care because it does not work for our pets. Um, or they are just learning and getting better and better and better. But I forgot what the fuck I was going to say.
the press release you got.
Oh, press release. So yeah, I get these press releases all the time. I remember when I had a media company, I'd get press releases and I'd be like, I can't believe this is coming over AP or whatever it was, Associated Press. I would go then to a news station and I would have a segment on the afternoon news. And I would sit there and listen to the anchors read the same press release that I got. And it would literally be shit like, the McRib is coming back. Like, how the hell is that news? And I think about
Right?
that now, like, when there's research that comes out all the time on plants and mushrooms and
Mhm.
natural therapies, why aren't they reporting on that?
Well, that's not who pays the bills at
That's
those
right, that's right.
stations.
So, yeah, um the press release was for a dog food company, and they were pushing for me to have their product development person on my podcast to talk about this premium dog food. So, of course, I go directly to the food, directly to the ingredients, copy the ingredients, pull it into chat, and go, tell me about these. And it's like, And what's funny is because they're behind, right? The bad players are behind a bit. So they know that if they want to make these new 2.0 pet parents happy, their first couple ingredients need to be the
Meat.
actual whatever. So it literally
Yeah.
is like beef heart, beef lung. I don't know. I'm just saying what the first three things are. And then an entire list of synthetic vitamins and minerals. So then I click on the lady and go, and she is has a master's in marketing. She doesn't know shit about making a dog food. And she just made a dog food. She literally is called a product development officer something. So she literally goes, "Hey guys, they're really into food that the first ingredient is actual food. So why don't we make one? And then we'll just put all the other shit in there and they'll never know. And then we'll market it that way." Why do I
Yeah.
want to interview this woman? She's a marketer. Like, I don't think people understand that. You got to
Yeah.
look at who's behind, who formulated it. And then, like we said in the beginning, if it's a veterinarian, how does that veterinarian know how to formulate? It's the same thing with me. When I went to go make a mushroom supplement, which I made because I couldn't find one on the market that was a therapeutic dose and made the way that I wanted it to be made, meaning sourcing, growing it on the right substrate, all the things that I know. I don't know how to do extractions and make medicine out of it. I know how a lot about adaptogens. I know how to do it with hemp. So I went and found somebody who's a mycoalchemist who's been doing this for years, who has been trained by the best, and like literally is one of 5 people in the country that do this and know how to do this preparation. So same. Who am I? How the hell do I know what I'm doing? I
Yeah.
do. Look it up. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like, before you buy something, how do you know? Because a lot of times people I watched this even in the hemp industry where I released my products and all of them, nobody else at that time had anything added to their hemp extracts, and now everybody has added other things and literally copied. Well, the reason that happened is that I literally was the only true trained formulator. Everybody else read the research, saw the opportunity. They still do great extraction. They still, put a wonderful, potent product in a bottle, but it's just different, strengths, not formulations that, target certain ailments that dogs are, you know, ailing
Yeah.
from. So it's just funny. And then seeing how, like, when I started all the broad spectrum products, all the isolate products, then all the isolate products disappeared when the research came out in 2019 that they caused liver injury. Those disappeared. And now, like, there's hardly any broad spectrum. Some full spectrum companies have turned into broad spectrum companies and people don't even know it. They'll be like, "Oh, stores. This happens in stores all the time." I'll go, "Do you have a full spectrum product?" They're like, "We sure do." Like, "Nope, that's a broad spectrum product." "No, she's a full spectrum." "No, she changed a couple years ago." So it's
Yeah.
funny how much stuff has changed, I think, in the 10 years. I think there's a lot more people who know better, but there's a lot more bad players in our space who know we're going to spend more on our pets. They know that it's a family member, it's our child. They don't, they know who we are, but that means that's right. You know who I am. I'm somebody who knows how to read a label. I know I'm somebody who asks for a certificate of analysis. And if I don't see it, I'm not putting that product. I don't care what it says. I'm going to read the reviews. What do the reviews say? I mean, that's like, to me, one of the best things. Although, who was it? Somebody sent me something the other day and said, "Hey, is this real?" And I went to the reviews. I was like, "Okay, no COA. Let me see the reviews." And then I read the reviews and they were so plain and fake and
Oh,
whatever. And I was like, "Oh my God, these are somehow fake." So then I literally typed in the name of the brand and Trustpilot because it was using Trustpilot's logo, and found that it had like a 2.0 true rating. So it was like they were taking fake, putting up, using the logo. So it ain't easy, but it gets easier. I swear it gets easier.
if you're here, it's because your pet isn't just a pet. They're family. And you can feel when something's off, even if the labs look normal. That's why I created Wild Wellness Pet and the Wild Wellness Bioenergetic Test to help you see the hidden stressors your pet's body is quietly carrying and give you a clear, holistic starting point. Head to wildwellnesspet.com to explore the bioenergetic test and the apothecary and take the next loving, protective, proactive step for your pet's healing journey.
So it was like they were taking fake, putting up, using the logo. So it ain't easy, but it gets easier. I swear it gets easier, right?
It does. It does. It does. I know somebody not too long ago asked me to look at something. It was a like a coffee product or something that had mushrooms in it, and it was interesting because they didn't put any of that and they didn't have the COA, they didn't have anything on the website. When I messaged them about it, they emailed all of that to me,
Oh,
but I'm
good.
like, "Why isn't this on your website?" Like,
Because so few people ask for it. That's why we have to talk about it constantly, is because people don't know to ask for it, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So it's
But
like
it's like if you have it, wouldn't you want it there? I don't, you know. That's
well,
that's
it
me.
depends. Like I even saw in the hemp industry where nobody shared COAs to if they wanted to compete with me, they had to share their COAs. So then I would look and see, okay, what are they doing now? Well, now they've got the same COA that's been up for 2 to 5 years. So they can go,
That's not
so
that
the person
specific.
goes, listens to this podcast, gets off, goes, "Oh, they got a COA." They look at it, they don't really know what it means or that it's 5 years old, and they move on with their life. So it is hard to be a pet parent, but I think we said this before we started the podcast that I was just trying to figure out ways where I can immediately go, "Yeah, that's probably a no," just from experience. And I think you agreed that one of the things is that if it's a powder, I'm gonna question it. I'm certainly going to look under the other or inactive ingredients to see what's listed there. And if I don't
Yeah,
recognize something or there's more than 1 or 2 things, it's a no. Um, but plastic, it being in a I recognize I probably have some somewhere. Usually try to keep the bad examples around so that I can use them as examples. I even had, like, I think it was Carter came over one time and to film stuff, and he was like, "Why do you have that?" And I'm like, For filming." I used to have
yeah,
a
for an
bad all
example.
the bad dog food and everything in my
Yeah,
house, and it was usually I took it from a client where I was like, "You're not feeding this
mm,
anymore. This is what the
mhm,
problem is."
yeah,
Um, but yeah, just the plastic, the white and that black plastic container tub thing that I feel like everybody's got, and it's usually filled with a lot of crap. Sometimes it's not, but why is it in plastic? Why is it in that white plastic? And a lot of times the biggest thing that that white plastic container says to me is white labeled.
true.
White
Yeah,
labeled product. I mean, I don't
yeah.
know if that's how you think, but what are your like, some of the things that you just immediately are like, "Oh, tinctures." That was one thing, COA, like a QR code that takes me to COA, but I don't have to touch that tincture if I see it's in a clear bottle.
Yeah,
That's an
because you
indication
need
that they don't know what they're doing.
right, yeah, definitely. I mean, if the ingredient list is a paragraph long, I'm probably not even gonna read it. I'm just putting it back. I'm probably not even reading it. And if it's a food, I do expect a longer ingredient label, but if it's a bunch of stuff I can't pronounce, I'm putting it back. Like, it's synthetic isolates, right?
Right.
I'm just not interested. And yeah, I mean, different supplements you do need different things for, but yes, any sort of liquid absolutely should be in a dark glass bottle that has either a screw top or a dropper top, like no pumps in it. No, like these are things that we should absolutely know. Um, but really, I'm just skeptical of almost anything anymore because I said I think I don't know who I said this to the other day, but I've gotten to the point where I say no to almost like no thank you to almost everybody that wants to send me something
Same.
because I wind up with just piles of stuff sitting over here that it might be a good product, but my dog doesn't need it. So, I'm not giving it to her just to give it to her.
It was
And and
this
I
is along, like, the same lines of what a true holistic veterinarian said one time about medications. She goes, "Any new drugs, I wait a good 10 years before I would
Mhm,
even consider them because they literally are testing them out on our pets." Like,
they are.
if you knew how they did research, they only have to prove that the health of the animal doesn't change in the first 3 months that they're getting that medication. And so that's why they'll do it for 3 months on healthy animals and then say, "Oh, look, it's fine. Nothing happened." They don't even have to prove that it does anything. And that's
Mhm,
literally what Librella did. Librella literally did 3 months and did pet parent surveys only.
mm,
I did more than Pfizer did.
yeah.
That's messed up. I don't have
Well,
Pfizer money, you know?
yeah, but you did it because you care, and they
I
don't
know,
do
but
it because
still, I can't believe that, to me, I already knew what the results were gonna be because I saw it at my rescue, practicing it. But I wanted to be able to track and prove every single way. And I'm like, I can't believe that I wanted to do more than somebody who's, gonna release a dangerous drug. They don't care. They
yeah.
don't care.
Well, and that brings me back around to, well, both of the product lines that you formulate, because I do get asked all the time, especially by, students going through different courses, that, okay, what are your top 3 supplements? And my first response to them is always, why are we talking about supplements first? We should not be talking about supplements first. We should be
Right.
talking about everything we need to remove before we start talking about things that we're gonna add back in. But then when I really sit down and think about the answer to that question, it's always, it depends on the dog in front of me. But if I were, like, pressed to just pick 3 that I think any dog or cat should be on, it's a quality omega-3 product, a full spectrum hemp, and mushrooms.
Yep.
Those are my top 3, and depending
Same.
on the animal, I'm gonna make some adjustments after that.
Right. And not to
And you have
interrupt you, but hemp and mushrooms and, of course, omegas are food.
they
They're
are.
all
Right.
vital foods. I hate that they're being called supplements. They
Mhm.
and the reason that, I'm glad you feel that way because I feel that way too, and not just because I make them, but because they do so much. This is why they're keeping them from you. This is why there's a hemp ban in place that's supposed to go into effect in November, because hemp and cannabis would get rid of most of the drugs on the market. Same
Mhm.
with mushrooms. There is so much medicine made out of mushrooms and plants. You guys have no idea. That's where all real medicine comes from. That's where they take it from. So, I agree with you completely, and I also agree that they should be fed their biologically appropriate diet, the hemp and the mushrooms, so that they're filled with those vitamins, minerals, and all those medicinal bioactives that do all the wonderful things. But the reason that they work so well is because the body recognizes them, and that's what it needs. And it's literally all they're doing is supporting the body's innate ability to heal itself and keep it at homeostasis. So nature provides us with everything. I think what was crazy to me about the study was that she even provides us things to help us with aging and helps with our brains. Like um Bacopa monnieri and lion's mane reverse aging. They regrow telomeres, they regenerate neurons. That blows my freaking mind that a mushroom and a plant can do that.
Yeah,
Why? There
I
must be,
know.
there's an intelligence there. And the fact
Mhm.
that we can think that we're gonna manipulate it or change it or, you know, whatever it is they want to do, patent it and make billions of dollars, it's I think it's a disgusting, corrupt system
Mhm.
when I can't tell you how many animals I've been able to bring back and people I've been able to bring back to homeostasis. Hi, who is that?
That is my brother's dog. His name is
Hi,
Zoomer. He
hi,
just got groomed.
Zoomer.
Yeah, Zoomer.
Hi, Zoomer.
He is a mess. He is a handful, and my dog, Kim, does not, she doesn't like other dogs, and she is over him. She's over him.
That's so
But,
funny.
well, I agree with you that these are foods, and that's actually I've started changing how I talk about all of them, because they are foods. And we can use them in these liquid forms that we're getting them in because they're very bioavailable that way. But even, like, with something like mushrooms, we can also include mushrooms in the diet. Like, we can
That's right.
use them in so many different ways, and they're gonna help in so many different ways.
Well,
But that
it's like hemp. Hemp's the flower, the extracts from the flower is the most incredible medicine ever, and their seeds, an incredible food and an incredible source of some of those omegas. And it's the
Mm,
same thing with mushrooms, the extracts of these mushrooms, because some of them you can't eat. You can't eat,
yeah.
reishi or turkey tail. It's not very good. So you want to extract the goodness out of those, and you got to do it with at least a dual extract of hot water and alcohol to get all of those magical compounds out. So mushrooms are both incredible food and food also, but they have to be made right. They have to be grown
Yep.
right. They have to be preserved right. And that's why I ended up making my own, finding Jason, my own myco alchemist, because I had a sick dog and realized what I was using was a not a therapeutic dose. And then that led me into, why is a liquid extract a powder? And then that led me to, oh, because it's coming from China and it's a lot cheaper to ship a powder versus a
Mhm.
liquid. So just those things. And then just going from realizing I had to use an entire half a packet to get a therapeutic dose, to switching to capsules, which then had those other ingredients that I didn't want to give my dog with cancer. So, just those types of things that I just was like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And it's
Yeah.
funny because the excuses, they come from China, because if we did this in the United States, it wouldn't be affordable. There's no way we could grow and manufacture. That's not true. I'm doing it.
Well, and that
Is my
is
profit margin as big as theirs? No.
no. Well,
But
and there are so many convenient excuses, and I know, like, right now, as much as I'm trying desperately to just not pay attention to anything politically going on, the idea that we need to protect glyphosate because we can't grow enough food without it is preposterous.
it
Like,
is.
regenerative farmers have shown in multiple countries around the world that it is possible,
Mhm.
and, like, it that these are the same kinds of
Well, how
excuses.
about we got rid of red dye number whatever, and now there's
Yeah,
the beet red, which everyone
which
thinks comes from beets and it doesn't, and it's just as bad, and what are they gonna outlaw it in 20,
mm,
50 years?
if yeah, probably
Yeah,
40, 50 years.
right. It's like, I don't know, I'm sure that there was a time in my life, I can't remember it, where I was like, "Whatever, I can't worry about all these things," right? There's too many threats, but then you're forced to. I
Yeah,
was forced to. I got an autoimmune disease. And now it's like, I don't know a woman, especially, who doesn't have something wrong, that they've been given some diagnosis. And a lot of times I'm like, how do you have that? You're not even 30 yet.
yeah,
And that is
it's
because it's just getting worse. They're just getting away with more. Now we're protecting glyphosate. We're suing them and they're losing and whatever. That should be an indication that it's time for you to go. And instead, they just
yeah,
protected themselves. So,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's hard. So that's why supporting your body's natural systems of detoxifying and supporting your liver and the gut and healing the gut and taking these natural things and eating real food really is your best defense to all of this bad stuff. I literally just, I'm new to where I'm living now and found a new naturopathic doctor and was like, okay, I'm going to do all the tests. So, the spit, the pee, the poo, the blood, the everything. And it was so alarming to see that I still have plastics in me and mycotoxins in me. The good thing is that my body is getting them out. But it's unbelievable that even the time and energy I take to make sure I don't have these things, I'm not exposed to these things, and yet here it is. So, but to be able to say, your doctor to go, "Oh my god, but your detox pathways are on point and your body is getting it out of you," is really, really good because when your body can't do that, or you've blocked it, or you're not supporting it, that's how you get cancer. That's how you get these diseases. That's when your immune system isn't overreacting. It's reacting to the constant threats it's getting from everywhere, air, water, food, medicine, supplements, because anybody can put anything and call it food and call it a supplement and call it whatever, and you have to make sure nobody's out there to protect you.
Yeah. Well, and that really is the problem, right? That it is layer after layer after layer after layer, most of which we're not paying any attention to. We're not paying any attention to the fact that we just mopped the floor with Fabuloso or whatever the heck, and our dog is walking across that floor now. We're not paying attention to the fact that I put a Glade plug-in in the other room and that is an endocrine disruptor, and we're not paying attention to the fact that the rescue neutered that dog when they were, 8, 10 weeks old. And so their hormone pathways are all jumbled up and messed up. Like, we're not paying attention to one thing after the other, and it is all piling up, and this is where we are now.
Well, I'm pretty positive it was that one time made a post about you used to love going into Bath and Body Works and all the scents and piling all those things. Me too. And in my 20s, like, I remember when Bath and Body Works came out, man, and now I have to, like, not even walk. I don't even know if they still exist, but any store like that, I literally hold my
I'm like,
breath
mhm,
because it's interesting how when you do get it out of your life, you can
yeah.
tell. Like, I
Oh, I know.
rented, Airbnbs for 2 years as I traveled and whatever, and, oh my god, I could walk in and go, there's, like, plugins, there's dryer sheets, I'm gonna have to take all the sheets and pillowcases off of everything, open up all the windows,
Yeah,
'cause it's like your body
I
gets back to normal and I'm a
yeah.
canary now.
Mhm. Oh, same. I went in an Airbnb one time, last summer, and I'm like, I did not even know they still made this scented toilet paper. So I immediately had to go to the grocery store, whatever I could find close to me, and just get something else that wasn't because I couldn't stand it.
So there
And
you
I'm
are
like,
in the bathroom going, "What?"
yes. I can't either. I mean, like, yesterday, my boyfriend went and bought his own deodorant, which, okay, go buy your own deodorant even though I bought you some
Good
other
stuff.
deodorant, and I'm like as soon as he walked up to me, I'm like, "You changed your deodorant?"
He thinks you're a witch. I'm like, "I am. Don't forget it." Mine, it's, like, so funny, he'll buy something or do something, and I have to walk in and I go, "I'm just the messenger. I'm not the person that made," where he'll buy an awesome glass food container, right? Because we don't allow trying to get anything we can plastic out of our lives, which is really
Yep.
hard,
It
especially
is.
anything touching our food or our supplements. Or like we go to the farmer's market, which I love, but like all the little plastic containers that it comes out in. So at
Mhm.
least taking all of those out of the plastic containers and putting them in jars. But anyway, he buys glass, fancy glass storage containers, and the tops are plastic. And I'm
I
like, "I
know.
don't what the" So that's just
Yeah.
like it's just the same thing with that dog food that I was telling you about. They know that you know to look for glass containers, but they didn't quite think it all the way through and think, "You're gonna buy the glass container, and
Mhm.
you're gonna love that seal of the lid, but the lid is plastic. So
Yep.
why did I buy the glass?" So
I
anyway,
know.
it's funny how, it's like there's the real and the reason that they just don't make the whole thing glass or the whole thing safe is because it's expensive.
Mhm.
It's expensive. What I do is expensive. Do you know how many times I got told that people would never buy a salve and put it on their furry animal? That what I was doing is gonna be too expensive. Nobody's gonna buy a $99 1-ounce bottle of something. And I'm like, well, this is how real medicine is done, and this is how it's done, and this is how so I guess I'm just gonna take
Mhm.
that risk and
Yeah,
hope that there's other people like me, who do want we do expect it. We expect if I'm gonna buy a bottle of full spectrum hemp extract that costs $99, that thing better stop seizures, that thing better kill cancer, that thing better, whatever it's claiming it better freaking do, and it does.
yeah. Well, and I think I had sent this to you, like, I don't know, a year ago, maybe. Because the 1899 Merck manual is online, and it has, I wanna say, 62 references for doctors and pharmacists on how to effectively use cannabis as
Awesome.
medicine.
And it's in what?
The 1899 Merck
Oh,
manual?
that's right, that's right.
Yes. And I mean, it also says things like, eating bovine ovaries and things like that for, feminine problems, which I still think is great, but I know you're a vegan, and so
That's
you're
right.
like, "No."
I don't know, but I'd be freaking swallowing some things for some of the things I went through. If you said, "Angie, you have to swallow this and you can avoid that," I'd be like, "Give it to me."
Yeah, right? Um, but yeah, no, it is it's definitely gonna take some feminine rage to create change in this world, and I think we're about there.
I do too.
I hope we are. I
Stop
hope we are.
fucking with nature, stop fucking with our dogs, stop fucking with animals. We're the only ones that can, like, help protect them and, keep them safe. Like, the fact that animal testing still exists,
Ugh, I know.
it's ridiculous. The fact that they, like, breed dogs just to torture them their whole lives and poison and test them, and when we're talking about the Ridgeland Beagles, I wanna make sure everybody I feel like every podcast I wanna talk about Librela, because literally I just went to this women's leadership conference, and I everyone who had a dog, of course, wanted to meet me, and I'm like, "Hey, say no to Librela," and one woman stopped, and another woman was about to, because
Oh, good.
it's being, like, marketed as the best thing to give your old dog. So it's given to dogs who don't even need it, who aren't even
Mhm.
experiencing joint pain. So because that's how it's being sold to the veterinarian.
Meanwhile, it's literally, like, destroying the bone and the connective like, it's destroying
It
all of it, and you
literally
can't get it back.
turns off nerve growth factor. It literally turns the bodies from regenerating nerves, and it's like, again, the audacity. Who the fuck do
Yeah,
you think you are doing that? And then putting it out and thinking that there's not gonna be huge repercussions for doing that. The new
yeah.
loyal drug, the, um shoot, now I always forget. I always get what loyal and what rapamycin do. Pretty sure it's the new loyal drug, which is the new anti-aging dementia. I don't know what they're gonna market it as. They just got another $1,000,000 to market it and figure it out and test it and whatever. But all it does is trigger autophagy.
Yes, so I actually yesterday interviewed a veterinarian who, I talked to him before I brought him on the show, and everything was on board. He's the longevity vet, blah, 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 food, diet, exercise, we talked about all of it, and then he starts talking about Rapamycin and then this other diabetic drug, and I'm like, so I mean, I did, I pushed back. I'm like,
Good.
"Okay, but why are we doing that? And when would you do that? And why would you do," and so, like, we had that conversation, and, when we got off, I was so glad he wasn't mad at me. He was like, I'm glad we can agree to disagree," and I'm like, "We're gonna agree to disagree."
Well, it's and then, like, why? Like, who is fed that information? Because,
Yeah.
who was it? Oh, somebody else, another person who has a podcast goes, "I have to have you back on. I just came from my vet's office, and he recommended, rapamycin for my old dog." And she's like, "What the hell's going on?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." Because they literally funded the dog aging project, which it's got a 60-minute special, everything. So I guess the veterinarians watched that special, but they
Mm,
never proved anything. It was just
yeah,
talking about how they were working on this drug. It's a
yeah,
it's a drug that's given to people who get organ transplants, and it helps their body not reject the
not
organ. So it's like I forgot what its action is of whatever, but it hasn't been proven. It was only proven to help and I think in vitro or with rats or something, and so now they're literally doing it to dogs. And there's
Mhm.
a is it Brian Johnson, who's that biohacker, famous biohacker guy? He's on
There's so many
everything.
of them. Oh my gosh.
I think he's the most famous one, but he started taking
Okay.
rapamycin. He has
Oh,
since
okay.
stopped because he
Oh,
saw no benefit and he said it was not worth the side effects.
well,
So
that's
again, it's like,
yeah.
no, this hasn't even come out. So now these vets are recommending a drug that hasn't even been proven to be safe for dogs. Both
Yeah.
Loyal and rapamycin say not intended to be used for more than a year.
Okay, that's good to know. Well, yeah, and that was
How is
I
that gonna help
and
extend a dog's longevity if it's not
it
supposed to be
yeah,
used more than a year because the side effects are so
right.
bad?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I said. I was like, "Okay, are we do you talk to your clients about fasting their dogs? Like, can we do this instead?"
Did you say that?
Yes.
What did he
Yes.
say? Did he even know it
He
was the same action?
he was like, "Oh, yeah, we talk about fasting." And I'm like and he said, "You know, people just don't wanna do it." And I'm like, "Well, okay." Like,
I think that's true.
yeah,
But you know what? The argument is that here's this drug, it's off label, it
yeah,
hasn't been proven. Do you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't even
mhm,
know that. He just knows about the 60 Minutes special and Dog
yeah,
Aging Project. And you go
yeah,
to Dog Aging Project and it literally looks like this feel good, enter your dog to see if they're whatever. And then you look at the small writing and it says, this will not help your dog. This is a research study to see if we can make them live longer. Have they
yeah,
collected some incredible data? Yeah, they have.
yeah,
But they haven't
yeah,
proven anything, and I hope that it doesn't get released as a dog drug because they haven't proven anything yet.
yeah.
I
I
heard
know,
they
I hope
stopped
so.
it, they stopped the research, but then I saw a resurgence of them coming out and talking about it again, so I'm
It's
like,
not it's not an inexpensive drug,
"No."
which that in itself blows my mind that people would pay for it, but the only thing I can think is that they just don't understand. They're
What
just
would you do?
again, blindly accepting.
I want
What
like,
would I
let's play, like, a game of what a pet parent should do when they're going to the vet, and the vet is literally recommending things like Librela and rapamycin for their old dog when they have no proof that it actually does anything, helps them, and they also don't know about the side effects.
I think the strongest thing that a pet parent can do outside of an emergency situation is to take all of the information your veterinarian gives you, thank them for it, tell them that you're gonna go home and research it, and you'll get back with them in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Great. I agree.
No matter like,
Don't
other than
even
an
leave with the
emergency.
shit in your bag and don't let
Oh,
them
yeah, no.
charge you for it.
No, no, don't buy it. I mean, again, like, if you're there for an emergency, that's honestly, like, the best use case. Emergencies and diagnostics for our traditional
Exactly.
veterinarians are best use cases.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think and that can be hard. Like, I'm not sitting here saying that it's not hard because I have definitely been crying in a vet's office before, like, with like, I don't know what to do. I've been there. But, it's easier I have found it is easier, 1, not to argue. I have come across way too many argumentative veterinarians that I'm just like, "You can be right, and I can walk out."
Right. And I don't understand why they're arguing with you because they're there to service you. They're there to service your animal and do what you want. They're not the boss of you. If you feel
Yeah,
uncomfortable or you don't feel like you can ask or say no, I don't want that, then you should go find another veterinarian. And people go, "But I can't find one." Well, you can find one online. You can go to my
yeah.
site. You can visit with you, you know.
Yeah,
There's lots of people who know better now and who can help guide you, even if you don't have the time or the energy to read what the hell the labs mean and the
mhm.
side effects of the drugs. Just realize that I think the biggest message is that you have a choice
You do,
and you're
and
not
I
given that
mean
choice. And like just like that doctor, he gives you two choices. You've got
mhm,
lots of choices.
yeah,
My thing that I always look for is if a drug is being prescribed, I'm going to want to know what its action, what its side effects are. I want to see what the warnings were, and then I'm going to go find what plant, mushroom, or food does the same action and go do that instead.
yeah, yeah. So, really quickly, because we're already approaching an hour, I have no idea how we've gotten to an hour already, but, I did wanna bring back up the study. Not because I mean, obviously, Carter's been on and talked about it, and I just think that, one, it's so many of us that have gotten into the holistic space, we can change something with our dog, change the food, give them a different supplement. We can notice the difference that it is making in our dog or our cat, and we don't need a study to tell us that that happened. Like, we just saw it and we're good, right? But then there are so many other people that are like, "I want 10 placebo-controlled studies that have been peer reviewed," and all of the things. And so to appease those people and to help bring more people over, these studies are gonna have to be done, but they are expensive. And so I just like, I want to be able to shout it from the rooftop as often as I possibly can that you did the study.
Thank you.
And not only that you did the study, but that you did it in a way, after talking to Carter, I feel like you did it in a way that, as you said at the beginning, you went so far above and beyond. You even found a researcher who started out by saying, "I don't think anything's gonna happen."
'Cause he's never seen it in his 15 years career, he's never done a piece of research where the drug did what it said it would do.
That's amazing. And
So,
then
like,
you got to show him.
I mean, it was the biggest learning experience I think ever, because again, it never amazes me how naive I continue to be. That they only have to, and this is from him, this is not my opinion. He said that you only have to test for 3 months, and you only have to prove that the animal's health doesn't change in that 3 months. And he was right. When I looked, that's I told you what Librela did, that's what
Mhm.
Apoquel does, that's what they all do, because they only have to do that, and they do it for it's just what's the NASC damn research that he just put out a couple years saying, um, full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolates are all well tolerated by dogs, and they did it for 3 months
It
with
was
healthy
3 months.
dogs.
Yeah.
So
And
you give
that's so
your dog with seizures or cancer or whatever a CBD isolate, you've literally taken away one of the things that's keeping it alive, its liver, that's detoxing it and healing it. And now you've damaged it by giving it a CBD isolate, and there's no repercussions, and you probably will never know. That's why I think people don't understand the dangers of these synthetics, because they're not talked about, or they're never has a vet said, "You died because you gave him too much synthetic copper,"
yeah, yeah.
because they don't even
No,
know,
they're gonna say, "Your dog died because you fed them
because
real
you fed
food,"
them
and not
raw. Exactly,
that's what
exactly. And then the
that's what
person
they
is like,
say.
"Okay, I'm not gonna feed raw anymore," and now we're back to where we were before. I
Yeah,
know. It's a tough world out there, but I do want people to know that you really start to learn and pick up and see and hear through the bullshit. And yes, I still things make it into my home where I'm like, nope, back you go. Didn't know that this was what that was. Or how the hell did I miss that? Like, I can't believe just how many times I get advertised Apoquel, Cytopoint, any of these things on social media, and I'll click on it, and they'll even have a tab. It'll say side effects. I click on that, and it'll say no adverse events reported.
that's amazing. I
It's
mean,
amazing. It's amazing to me too. It's like you have to literally type in there and say, whatever the drug's name is, adverse events, side effects. I mean, I know there's the website that I forgot, the black box warning website where you can literally all it does is show you the black box warning, and what the black box warning is the warning that the FDA makes you put on drugs. This doesn't apply to animal drugs, by the way. That makes you put it on human drugs that says what those dangers, those life-threatening dangers are. But they're not on Librela, they're not on Apoquel, and Apoquel, like, literally, there's the FDA wrote, Apoquel and told them, "You need to update your insert," and so now you'll see there's updates of how many different more cancers. I'm sorry, they don't call it cancer, they call it neoplasia. How
mhm.
many more cases of neoplasia they have, or And I also like to tell people that the when I was in my Apoquel research deep dive was the warning that, can't it's not recommended for dogs under 12 months of age,
Mhm.
and that's because they tested it on those beagles of Ridgeland, and they killed them, and that's how those warnings make it onto those inserts, when we could have given them a full spectrum hemp extract and done the same thing and helped them, help their immune system, help their body instead of kill them. Like, that's how messed up it is. And it's true. And it's proven in research. It's proven in thousands and thousands of pet parents and hundreds of vets who are using it as medicine now. So, like, why? Why is it this way? Why do we trust that chemical concoction over plants and mushrooms? I mean, I know
I
why. It's Rockefeller, but nobody else knows that.
Yeah, it absolutely, absolutely is. Um, yeah, it's that indoctrination, but that happened, you know, you wanna make money and you want to and then you create the American Heart Association and cover it all up, and you do all the like, I just wanna it's like I said, it's gonna have to be feminine rage that changes all of this
I
because
agree.
men aren't doing anything about it.
No, I don't. I mean, it's like, and then we even look at the men who are trying to do something about it now, and they kind of hit the point and then kind of totally miss under other things like red dye. Like, why just red dye? What about the blue and the yellow and all the others?
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah.
yes, like, how with these people who are looking out for us, did glyphosate get protection?
I
It's
that
all
one
bullshit. Or the cannabis
it
stuff right now. I mean, my phone was
yeah.
blowing up. Did you hear it? La, la, la. And I just sit here and go, it's all gaslighting. Opening up and deschedulizing, des I don't know if even know if that's a word. Changing it to a schedule 3, I think is what it is. And I don't freaking know because it doesn't matter. Is just to open up research for them to make pharmaceutical drugs out of the plant. That's what
Yeah.
it opened it up. It didn't make it legalized. It didn't allow more people to get access to plant medicine. It didn't do any of that. So it seems like it's good news, but to me, I just how hard can I roll my eyes back in my head?
Mhm.
Because it's
Yeah.
just such and while this is going on, there's a hemp ban that's supposed to go into effect in November. And I want you
November.
guys to realize that it is THC they're going after because if they take THC out of a full spectrum hemp extract or a full extract of cannabis, they've made it useless. They're not going after isolates or broad spectrum. They're just going after the stuff that works.
Mhm.
And of
Yeah.
course, the beverages that have THC because people aren't drinking alcohol as much anymore and they don't like that. So they got to,
Mhm.
make it more difficult or they want to control over it. So it's amazing to know what I know and know the amazing benefits of this plant and then watch everyone want to control it and make the money off of it. It's like you can't just leave us over here, us pet people over here and letting us with their little herbs and concoctions. No, they want that too. They want to control it
Mhm.
all. And it's
Yeah. It's
I don't get it.
well, it's so much money. So much money,
So
sadly.
$300.7 billion, and I think it was 2023 that Pfizer made that
Wow.
owns Zoetis, because
Yeah.
every giant pharmaceutical company has an animal arm, and
Mhm.
they spend millions of dollars developing these drugs, and when they don't work in the human space, they put them over in the animal space,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
people start
Interesting.
using them, and the brainwashing and the salespeople come in and tell the vets that they got this new great thing, and the vets believe it. And
Mhm.
prescribe it without ever looking into it. They just believe what's being said, so that's why you have to do it.
They do. I know. I ugly cried in a veterinarian's office a few years ago because my cat, who had resorptive disease, had 17 teeth removed,
Oh.
and the only thing they were willing to give me to go home with was gabapentin, and I said, "You're out of your mind. I don't want him sedated. I want to give
And it
him
doesn't get rid
painkillers."
of pain.
Yeah. And they were like, "It is a painkiller." I said, "It is not a painkiller." Like, "I don't know where you're getting this information from." And I was just in tears because I'm going home with my cat who I'm like, "I don't want him in pain." I ended up, having a friend send me extra THC, and we just did
Oh, good.
I added more THC to my CBD
What?
doghouse.
Did you kill your cat?
I didn't. He was amazing. We got through it, and, it took him about a day and a half before he started eating again. That was my biggest concern because, cats can't go
Right.
for any period of time without eating. So, yeah, no, we were good. I
Good.
doped him up.
The ultimate all natural painkiller. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
So, yeah, they're
Absolutely.
gonna imagine them taking that away from you now.
Yeah. It's
It's to
scary.
me, that's the biggest thing. That's why I think I love a full spectrum hemp extract so much is that it literally takes away suffering, stress
Mhm.
and anxiety, pain, inflammation. It literally takes it away. So it's like gives you a, okay, now I can deal. At least I know they're not suffering anymore. And
Mhm.
gabapentin doesn't do that. It makes
No.
things worse. It doesn't even get rid of the pain. You don't even get to feel good. It's
Mm-mm.
awful, and it's still being prescribed all the time, and I just don't like, ugh.
I know. I
So,
know. I mean, that telling talking about the human medications that fail going that's what made me think of it. But yeah, I mean, and the I take it. I take Heal every night when I go to bed, and if
yay.
I don't take it, I notice a difference.
I take extra strength calm or horse
Yeah.
calm,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
notice too, I'll be like, why did I not go right back to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning when I woke up? And I was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot to take my calm." I
Well,
do.
yeah, I thank you so much for being here. Thank you
I
for educating. Truly. I mean, because, you have really amazing products and you could just sell really amazing products, but yet you're still out here
I know, and I
educating.
think Hernando would like me to shut the hell up, but I just can't. Like, I literally I'm like, well, what we started talking about at the before we went on, where I'm like, I don't wanna be canceled again for telling people to read the ingredients and understand the ingredients on a supplement that someone that we trust and love is promoting, and they shouldn't be because 'cause they're holistic, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I can't. I cannot. If I recommended or backed somebody and then they turn around and do something that's not holistic, it I always reach out to them first and say what the hell's going on. And then I'm not going to allow it. I'm not gonna be quiet and so that people like me or that I stay in good favor with somebody at the expense of an animal's health. So
Mhm.
hate me all you want. I'm here for the animals, and I enjoy talking to someone like you because it's so nice to talk to a like-minded person where, I don't have to hear, "You're not a vet," or, "You don't know what you're talking about," and it's like, "Okay, whatever." But
Yeah, I
we
know.
gotta
Well,
keep speaking up for the animals
yeah.
and thank you for speaking up to the vet because he's probably never heard it. Maybe he went home and looked it up to see if you knew what the hell you were talking about. Or
Yeah.
just
That's
the other day, someone, posted something that said where I'm saying THC hasn't killed any animal, and somebody made a comment and go, "Google THC and pet or dog reaction, see what you find." And you're right. Whole page of THC toxicity and pets, this happened and that happened, and a veterinarian saying, "Oh, yes, it's absolutely bad and it was terrible." THC can be an isolate. A plant can
Mhm.
be made to have 98% THC. What I'm talking about is medicine, and I'm talking about full extracts of cannabis oil that contain THC, full extracts of hemp oil that contain THC, not THC by itself, not a freaking gummy, not a recreational product. I'm not talking about those things. Those things are dangerous,
Mhm.
not a pure product. It's impossible. So I want that to go away. I can't believe we're still talking about that bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
Jess, we have to stop talking or it will be more it'll be
You're
another
right.
hour.
You're right, you're right. Well, I appreciate you being here. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
the amazing products that you put out and the fact that you went above and beyond and put that study out for CCD in dogs because I mean, there's so many things that are devastating, but it's always a toss up. Is it the physical things that are more devastating? It's the mental things that are more devastating. Like, I don't know, but to see an otherwise healthy dog just not know where they are anymore, not remember why they walked into a room, like that breaks your heart.
But that breaks your heart, but that's still not scary. What you
Yeah.
don't know, the things that I know because I had a senior dog rescue and because I've helped so many people with senior dogs, how many have been lost by falling in the pool and drowning?
Oh,
And they
yeah.
go, we've lived in the same house for 12 years. How did this happen? Because he forgot. Or the worst thing, and the reason that I did the study and created clarity in the first place is because I was losing dogs to this disease because I was getting them to 16, 17, 18 to 20. And I was losing them to this disease because they forget how to eat and drink. They no longer remember they still are thirsty. They're still hungry. They still go to the food or water bowl, but they can't remember how to pick it up, eat it, swallow it. And I was like, what? And that's literally
Wow.
why I got to work. And at the time, this is the majority of the dogs that were coming to my rescue because people were giving up because they'd go to the vet and the vet would go, there's nothing I can do. And I'm like, yes, there is. There's always, that is a sign. They say there's nothing else that they can do or whatever they said would help. It's not helping. That is your cue to go find something else or another way. Otherwise, they're just going to keep on trying stuff in their playbook and throwing things at you. And that just makes things worse. I know. It's how I lost my first dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great place to end.
Okay, good.
Great place to end. Thank you so much, Angela.
Thanks
It's
for
always
having
a
me.
pleasure having you here.
Same.
Guys, please give your pets some extra love from me and from Angela this week. And by the way, you can find Clarity and the other mushroom supplements from Microdog at Wild Wellness Pet. And
Yay.
oh, yes, by the way, really quickly, because I just have to say this, I have one of those Nourish sticks. I
Oh,
keep
the
it in my
little one?
purse. Yes, I keep it in my purse because I am a chapstick addict, and now I'm using that instead.
Well, anytime you need them, I'll send you a new supply.
I
I'm
love
sure they
them
all
so
came in
much.
like most of these are empty because I just sit here and it's at the end, rub it on myself.
Yes, I love it so much. So, thank you so much for being here, and oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Little snafu. Just a little
Just
snafu
a
this
little one.
I'll talk to you guys next week. Before you go, if today's episode got you thinking about what's really going on beneath the surface for your pet, don't forget to check out wildwellnesspet.com. You'll find the Wild Wellness Bioenergetic Test to help uncover hidden stressors, plus a curated apothecary of holistic remedies to support true root cause healing. Visit wildwellnesspet.com to start building a calmer, more vibrant pet from the inside out.